Hey guys, let's talk a little bit about some numbers, okay? We've been talking about during Number Corner how we can find little numbers hiding inside of big numbers. So today I have some dots drawn up here. And I want you to look at my dots and see if you see any groups that I could circle. Do you see any little parts that I could circle? There is a group of 2 and a group of 3. Very good. So I'm going to draw this lovely tool here that helps us pull numbers apart and put numbers back together. Do you remember what I called this tool? It's a number bond. You know what? I think I'm going to actually move it over a little bit away from our dots to make it easier to see. This is called a number bond. Do you remember what I called the number that goes up here? That's called the whole. Do you remember what the word whole means? Well, let's think about that. If you're going to eat the whole pizza, how much are you eating? You're eating all of it. So whole means all of it. And then down here, these are called the parts. If you eat part of the pizza, you're eating some of it. So this is a part and this is a part. Now, let's first look at our picture and figure out what our whole is. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Okay, what do you think our whole is? How many dots do you think we have all together? That's right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots all together. Now we had that group of 5 and we said, let's take that 5 and pull it apart into 2 groups. What 2 parts did we pull that 5 into? We have the 2 part and we have the 3 part. So this number bond tells us that we can take 5 and we can pull it apart into 2 and 3. But it also tells us we can take 2 and 3 and push them together, and when we do that, there will be 5. So I want you to have 2, and I want you to put 3 on your fingers. And pretend that these are down in the bottom circles of your number bond. And let's drive them up the road till they meet each other at the top. And when 2 and 3 meet, how much is that? 5. When 2 and 3 meet each other, it's 5. Very good. Okay. Now, I told you that we can pull numbers apart and we can put them together. Well, there are special symbols in math that tell us when we need to put numbers together and when we need to pull them apart or take something away. This is one of our symbols. Do you guys know what that symbol is called? That's a plus sign. Can you do that with me? Plus sign. Let's do it again. Plus sign. And do you remember what I said Miss Plus Sign likes to do? Remember, she's the sweet one. She likes to reach her arms out and grab 2 little parts and say, you know what, I think you guys should be together so that the whole group can be together. So Miss Plus Sign sees these 2 parts that are separated and she says 2 and 3, I want you to be together. So let's put 2 on one side and 3 on the other. That way Miss Plus Sign can reach them both so she can pull them together. So when Miss Plus Sign takes 2 and 3 and pulls them together, how much are they? 5. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. This is called addition. Can you say addition? Addition means we are putting numbers together or we are getting more. So addition is what Miss Plus Sign does. That's her job. Just like my job as a teacher, Miss Plus Sign's job is to do addition. Okay? So she puts 2 and 3 together and that's 5. Do you remember what I said this symbol is called? That's right, it's the equal sign. Do you remember what equal means? Equal means the same. Very good. Equal means the same. So Miss Plus Sign is bringing 2 and 3 together and they are the same as 5. Very good. Now let's talk about pulling numbers apart. Do you remember who it is that pulls numbers apart? Mr. Minus. Mr. Minus. Very good. So there's Mr. Minus and he does something called subtraction. Can you say subtraction? It's Miss Plus Sign's job to do addition. It's Mr. Minus's job to do subtraction. So subtraction means he's taking something away or he's pulling a number apart. Now here's the important thing about subtraction. It always starts with the whole. Can you say that with me? Subtraction always starts with the whole. Let's say it again. Subtraction always starts with the whole. One more time. Subtraction always starts with the whole. So subtraction always has to start with the parts already together. So when these dots were together, how many were there? 5. Subtraction always starts with them together because he wants to rip them apart. So he waits till they're together so he can rip them apart. So subtraction says you're together. I want to take part of you away, so part of you is left all by itself. So Mr. Minus sees this and he says, I see 5 dots. I want to take this part away. So he says, you have 5. I want to take away 2. And when you have 5 and you take away 2, what part is left? The 3 part is left. So we have our 2 and 3 together. Mr. Minus said, take away 2, minus 2. See how my arm even looks like Mr. Minus, taking it away? What's left after I take away 2? That's right, 3. So can you put your fingers up together, 3 and 2? And then, so this is 5 minus 2 equals 3. Let's do that together. Put your 3 and 2. 5 minus 2 equals 3. One more time. 5 minus 2 equals 3. Very good. Now, Mr. Minus could take the 3 away instead. If Mr. Minus changed his mind and he decided he wanted to take away the 3, if he took away the 3 instead, what part would be left? The 2 part would be left. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. So let's do that on our fingers. Put your 3 and 2 together. Minus 3 equals 2. Do that again. 5 minus 3 equals 2. Very good. So I just taught you about 2 very important things. I taught you about addition and subtraction. Did you just see what I did with my hands? I said I taught you about addition. What did I do with my hands? I put them together because addition is putting parts together. And then I taught you about subtraction. What did I do with my hands? I pulled them apart because subtraction is taking the groups back apart. So we have addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction. Can you do that with me? Addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction. Very good. Now I also want you to repeat after me as we talk about what addition is. Are you ready? So addition is part plus part. Look at my body. I'm a plus sign. Do you have your part over here and your part over here? Part plus part equals whole. Can you do that with me? Part plus part equals whole. Again, part plus part equals whole. When you take 2 parts and put them together, you have the whole thing. Part plus part equals whole. Now subtraction, do you remember what subtraction starts with? Subtraction always starts with the whole. He can't rip them apart if they're not together yet. So subtraction starts with the whole. Subtraction is whole minus part equals part. Can you do that with me? Whole minus part equals part. Whole minus part equals part. You start with all of it, take some of it away, and some of it's still there. So it's like if you had 5 toy cars and I took 3 of them away, some of them would be left. Whole minus part equals part. Now I showed you already that subtraction could take away the 2 part and have 3 left. And it could also take the 3 part away and have 2 left. Well, let's go back to the addition sentence. We said earlier 2 plus 3. Oops, sorry guys. Let's try this. I want to get rid of our minus stuff there. Let me put my dots back because we're going to go back to addition. So I want to get rid of Mr. Minus for a little bit. Okay, we're back to 2 and 3. We already did 2 plus 3 equals 5, but guess what? There's another addition sentence that goes with this. We already did 2 plus 3 equals 5, but what if we flip it? What if we put the 3 first? If you have 3 and 2 together, is that still going to be 5? Well, let's see. Let me see your 3 and your 2. Put them together. Is that 5? Okay, now switch it. 2 and 3 together. Is that 5? Is it still 5? Is it still 5? What about now? What about now? It's still 5. In addition, it doesn't matter which one's first. It's still going to equal the same thing. There's a special name for that. It's called the commutative property. And this is what I always say to help us remember. Flip, flop, commutative property. Can you say that with me? Flip-flop commutative property. Again, flip-flop commutative property. That means 3 plus 2 is 5 and 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 plus 4 is 5 and 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 0 is 5 and 0 plus 5 is 5. The order doesn't matter. It's 5 now, still 5, still 5, still 5. That's called flip-flop commutative property. Very good. And that's all we're going to talk about today. Thank you for being such great listeners. I hope you learned a lot.